Got on the bench this really cool 7-string Archtop Devoe, Tom Devoe. I believe he's in Florida, and he has retired, so he won't be making any more of these. Cool guitar, owned by David Newsom, professor at Berkeley. This is the second guitar of his that I'm fixing. The first one was the 7-string classical, and now this one. So here's the issue. This guitar has been unplayable for quite some time. It has been repaired before and it was unsuccessful. This guitar has an X. It's not really an X brace. It doesn't go all the way down. It's a Y brace, so it goes all the way across like this, and there's another leg like this. Right over here, the brace, at the end of the brace, it has come loose, and there has been an attempt to re-glue it with what looks to me like Type On yellow glue, and it came loose again. I will show you some shots of the inside of what's going on under the hood there with my endoscope camera, but the top is sunk. You can kind of tell by, it's hard to pick up in the camera, but on the treble side the top is sunk, and previously this bridge has also been made much taller. It was probably as tall as this before, and this whole last the half, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch here that's touching the top has been added to it, sort of aggravating the problem because now there's more string tension downwards. We'll see how this repair is gonna go. My sense is to go in there, re-glue that brace with epoxy, some very strong epoxy that will come loose at a certain temperature. So if it needs to be repaired once more, then that can be done. But that, because this has been glued before, the joint between the brace and the top is contaminated with yellow glue, right? So I cannot use anything other than epoxy as far as I'm concerned. And I'll add a sound post to it to prop the top up a little bit, or at least keep it from collapsing again. It's not unheard of in the Archtop guitar world, but it's not that common either. It's very common in violins, but they were, you know, carved instruments in general, violins, cellos, that kind of thing. But it's usually placed right behind the bridge. And it's going to be tricky. It's a structural thing more than anything else, but violins and violas and that sort of thing, they are bowed instruments, so the way the string vibrates is different. But for these purposes, I don't really see I have an option. It's gonna change the sound a little bit. I don't know if it'll be anything negative, but as it is right now, this guitar is unplayable, and the problem will only get worse from here. Looking under the hood there, the X brace is really not fitted properly. There's a bunch of gaps. There are gaps at the neck block here as well. So inherent problems with this guitar, but we'll make the most of it, and I think that my solution will be great. This has been, like I said, repaired before, and he brought it to a third person, which suggested to run a screw through the top to attach that brace, which is not a very sophisticated way of doing this, in my opinion. But time will tell if my solution will be any better. I'll do my best to not do anything very invasive. I don't know yet if I'm gonna glue the sound post in or if I'll just pressure fit it. Both have pros and cons, but I'll do my best. Here it is, a Devoe 7-string Archtop. And here we are looking at the inside of this guitar. You can see the tip of the brace is loose, a whole bunch of glue around. You can see some black spots on the sides there, as well. Probably an indication, there on the line, and you can really see it. Indication that this guitar was kept a bit too humid. Maybe that's what got the brace to come loose, warp in the top and all that. Here's another shot from the other side. And you can see the X brace here. There's a considerable gap between the top brace here. You can really see it. Between the brace and the top, which is an indication that these braces would probably not fit properly. There is a good amount of glue there. I don't know if this is from the repair or the original builder, but yeah, a considerable gap there. You can also see a gap on the linings and the head block here, or the neck block, excuse me. Both on the top and on the bottom. You can see right next to the A, the letter A there, there's a big gap on the linings as well, and at the bottom of this block. Yeah, I'm not sure this is really intentional from the builder. There a really considerable gap at towards the back of the instrument, and it's indication that things are not fit properly to begin with, and maybe that's what caused as well the brace from coming loose. Here's a shot from the other side. You see that first repair. There's a whole lot of glue on the outside there. To be fair, here you can really see the glue all around, yellow glue. To be fair, it is hard to repair an instrument like this through the F-hole. He did the best that he could, but unfortunately the brace let go, and now it will be glued properly with epoxy, which basically sticks to everything. Here's the guitar disassembled. Here's the bridge. Let's get a look at this. Close look at this bridge. You can see the seam of the previous bridge repair. This is what it looks like on the outside. And here's the footprint of the bridge. It seems like they used some rosin or something to keep the bridge in place. Anyway, easy to see where the bridge goes here. I'm gonna attempt to add glue in this, right, with some epoxy, and I'm gonna remove the clamp here and see how this is gonna go. The shots from the inside with my endoscope show that the crack closes pretty well. There's still a little bit of a gap there when I tighten this clamp. I'm afraid to put a lot of pressure on this top, right? Not to crack it, but epoxy will fill that crack and hopefully everything will stay intact. Going in again with the endoscope camera. This is a dry run of the clamping to make sure that I can close that gap well and there's enough contact between the brace and the top. You can see a good amount of glue on the outside area here, and which is totally understandable. This is a very challenging repair. It's hard to repair things through the F-hole, and I'm sure that the previous repairman did the best that he could. I'm gonna go through the other side here. You're gonna be able to see just the gap that's left there. There's a considerable gap now, and I'm gonna start tightening the clamp here, and you're gonna see that gap close it in. Here it is closing. There'll be a little bit of a gap left there, which epoxy will fill in. Tight bond is really not the glue for this job. The joint is contaminated. You also don't want to use hide glue when the joint's contaminated with a different type of glue, and there is a gap there. So epoxy is the adhesive for the job here for sure, and that's what I'm going to use to repair this guitar. I'm going in through the other side here now, and I've removed the clamp so you can see just what a gap we have here of this brace coming loose and what I have to deal with. You can also tell how much difference it makes to clamp things down. So the brace sprung back. There's a split to the top there. You can see all the old glue residue here, both on the outside of the brace and on the top. I had to sacrifice a brush here with my little reaching tool. This is a violin tool for sound posts, in order to be able to get in there, right under there, and then spread some epoxy under the brace. Really tricky. I'm here with my mirror, just making sure everything is gonna go all right. I'll try to get a shot from the inside of how this is gonna work. Another shot from the inside of the instrument, and here I am practicing the brushing with my little tool and my modified brush here. This was tough. I had to spend some time practicing this because of the angles. The maneuvering is pretty complicated. The fact that I have to go through the F-hole to get this done, it was it was complicated. I'm definitely glad that I practiced, and it made a big difference in the final product for sure. This is, again, just the brush is dry, right, and I'm just trying my best to hit the gap there and making some mistakes, and might as well make the mistakes now before there is epoxy on the brush. And here's a pretty good shot of what's going on in there with my inspection mirror. That top is cracked. Big problem with the brace there. This is gonna be really challenging. Getting this done through the F-hole is it's gonna be tricky. Here's the result, what it looks like on the outside. A couple of calls with cork. This is, clamped down so that brace will stay on the top. Really challenging to get the epoxy in there. Here's my little setup. I had to sacrifice a little brush here. Everything looks good on the inside. I'm sweating bullets right now. It's really challenging. Reglue here, or brace, reglue and clamping. The epoxy starts to set. It's probably already, you see that it's very thick now, but got it in there. Now let's wait and see. Hard to tell until the clamp comes off, but it looks good. Gonna go back inside the instrument. Now the clamp has been removed. The epoxy has dried and cured, and here it is. It's in place. You can see all the leftover glue there from the previous repair. I did spread epoxy outside of the brace area there. It was very hard to avoid, but I tried my best not to make a big old mess in there. Gonna see from the other side here how the gap was closed. You're gonna see the epoxy there. It's it's in there. It's great. I was really happy with this, and you don't see a gap there anymore. The epoxy filled whatever gap was in there and glued the top to the brace to the top. You can see the difference in color, the yellow glue and the clear see-through epoxy there. And I was happy with this successful repair.